Danny, and we clean up the mess in Munich from the air raids and huge mounds of dirt. When they drop a bomb, it everything gets fly, dirt and all. So then the people in Munich was a town of around 1 million people, and they couldn't get around the streets then because of the bomb. The streets were full of dirt. So we'd go in there with peeled up as prisoner of the war with shovels and wheelbarrows, and we'd try to open up these streets so that the people in Munich could get around. The group of POWs eventually found themselves clearing rubbish in Munich. Dawes said they were based in an internment camp near Moosburg, Germany, where that'd be Dante. We were housed in Dante, called Delon 7A, which was about the size of, I got it in here, but was about the size of Dimmock. Each day we were brought into Munich by train, given shovels and wheelbarrows, and helped clear the roads. So the Germans were able to move. At the end of the day, we were shipped back to the POW camp in Dante, Dimmock. We were shipped back to the camp in Dimmock. Dawes said that starvation, filth, harassment, and loneliness were prevalent in the POW camp. It was rare that POWs were able to wash up, and the food rations were minimal. We're living in Moosburg, Germany. That would be Dimmock. There were probably 1,000 prisoners there. There was no place to take a shower. Couldn't. If we worked in Munich during the day, come back to Moosburg at night, come back to Dimmock at night, get inside that barbed wire fence. That's it. He didn't go any place. No showers, no nothing. And then for a toilet, they had a huge toilet with a hole cut in them, like your grandpa and grandma would have had an outside toilet, outdoor toilet, and then they had holes in the board to sit on.
Would they feed you?
In Germany, we had to sit on those boards in the toilet. But the Germans would clean this what do you call it, outhouse. They call them outhouse. They would take the spray truck, clean that outhouse once a week because there was a filth in the stools in the toilet. So they would bathe that to try and keep it clean. However, the Germans didn't want American POWs shot, so they found empty buildings in which to hide. So that was during the day. During the day, then we marched at night because it was dark and they couldn't see what was going on. In the daytime, we'd stay inside of some barn or an old house. Didn't want the American POWs killed because the barracks at the camp were huge red crosses on the roof so we wouldn't get bombed. Dawes said the Germans never did explain why they didn't want the POWs dead. Well, I don't know either. You go up in the front line, and the idea was use live ammunition and kill them. But the League of Nations made an agreement before there were ever wars were even thought about that was not to kill medics. Like if you were a medic helping with a prisoner of war, didn't want the medic killed. That they were supposed to be left without being attacked. The Germans didn't want American POWs shot, so they found empty buildings in which to hide. It was also evident that the Germans didn't want the American Red Cross POWs killed because the barracks at the camp wore a big red cross sign on the roof. Dawes said the Germans never did explain why they didn't want the POWs dead. I don't know. It would make any difference to them. They'd shoot a guy up in the front line, shoot an airplane, hope that they'd enjoy some people, but yet they did not want to kill POWs, just come outright and kill it. We go into Munich and clean streets called Stellau 7A, which is about the size of Dimmock. Each day we were brought into Munich by train, given shovels and wheelbarrows to help clear the road, so the Germans were able to move. At the end of the day, they were shipped back to the POW camps in boxcars. Dawes said starvation, filth, harassment, and loneliness were prevalent in the POW camp. It was rare that POWs were able to wash up, and the food rations were minimal. When the American Red Cross overtook a lot of the situations overseas, so they want to make sure that the prisoners have something to eat. So we did a Red Cross parcel, about like this sheet of paper, but it was about 4 inches high, a box 4 inches high, and in there would be ration that feed the prisoners. They included items like powdered milk, shot of candy bar, toffee, ham and egg, liver paste, ration of butter, a pork loaf, and orange concentrate, boxed in bags like biscuit, prune, cheese, soup, powder, sugar, bouillon powder, and vitamin C tablets. Each 11-pound parcel included 6 packs of cigarettes. Now we're teaching you young folks not to smoke. Don't. And here the Red Cross was sending us 6 packs of cigarettes because they knew that in the United States that we had to have a cigarette. And then if you ever go to the service, every hour they'd take a 10-minute break to light up a cigarette. The command from the sergeant would be, okay, if you got them, light them up. And at the end of 10 minutes, go back to work. But that's how important cigarettes were in those days. You had to have, the Red Cross even gave us 6 packs of cigarettes, so we had something to Although Dawes didn't smoke, he used the cigarettes to trade for bread from German civilians. He said every day at least one person would hide behind a tree near an area where the POWs worked in Munich. When the guard wasn't looking, okay, we got off the box tires in Munich, and a group of men out there, but we lined up. So then they put a guard on 10 men, a German guard for every 10 men. Say, 10 of you fall out, you're under your command. Another 10 fall out, and they'll be under your command. So he had to watch those 10 men during their work details. When the guard wasn't looking, Dawes and other men would trade 2 or 4 cigarettes for a loaf of bread and some kind of food item. Isn't that something that we would trade a cigarette for a loaf of bread? The black bread broat, B-R-O-A-T recipe. Former prisoners of war of Nazi Germany may be interested in this recipe for World War II black bread. This recipe comes from the official record from the Food Providing Ministry, published top secret in Berlin, and the director and ministry, and it was agreed that the best method to bear black bread was, listen to this, 50% bruised rye grain, G-R-A-I-N, 20% sliced sugar beets, 20% tree flour sawdust, 10% mint leaves and straw. From our own experiences with the black bread, we also saw bits of glass and sand. Someone was cheating on the recipe. Despite the poor rations from the Germans, American POWs received care prizes from the American Red Cross that contained canned and powdered goods. The Germans didn't have a lot of food, so those were kept alive. So those foods were what kept us alive. Dawes said of the parcel, I never got sick while I was a POW. When we marched in, we go into Munich, the prisoner places would be just like going into Metro. They're all boarded up. The windows are all boarded up with plywood. They're closed. The city of Munich had no need to be open because they were being heavily bombed. So never got sick while I was a POW. The Red Cross parcel included canned items like powdered milk, chocolate candy bars, coffee, lemonade, liver, pastry, butter, pork loaf, and orange concentrate bought and bagged into biscuits, prune, cheese, soup powder. Each 11-pound parcel included 6 packs of cigarettes. Though Dawes didn't smoke, he used the cigarette to trade for bread from the German civilians. He said every day at least one person would hide behind a tree near an area where the POWs were working. I'll tell you that evergreen tree across the street, that the civilians would get in behind those trees so the guards wouldn't see them. And then if the guard, when it took a break or sometime, they'd come out and take my 3 cigarettes and they'd give me a loaf of bread. At least one person would hide behind a tree near an area where the POWs were working. When the guard wasn't looking, Dawes and other men would trade 2 or 4 cigarettes for a loaf of bread and other food items. Dawes endured 5 months as a POW. It was liberated on April 29, 1945. So I got captured in November 1944. I was a prisoner 5 months. December, January, February, March, and April.
Why'd they release you?
Huh?
Why'd they release you? Why were you released when you were a prisoner of war? Why'd they release you?
Why did they what?
Why did the Germans release you?
Release me? Oh,
yeah.
The war was over.
Yeah. Oh, the war was over then?
Yeah.
Oh.
When the guard wasn't looking, Dawes said other men would trade 2 cigarettes for bread and other items. Dawes endured 5 months as a POW, was liberated on April 29, 1945. Well, you don't remember all this because you weren't born, but in 1945, that's when the war ended. What was it? When did the war end? April 29, 1945. Mm-hmm. During this time in Germany, Dawes said he never thought of death or what might happen to him, mostly because the Germans made it clear that they were not going to kill the American prisoners. The Germans made it clear that I talked about the League of Nations. That was an agreement after World War I. After World War I, there was an agreement made among the League of Nations that prisoners shouldn't be shot. Russia didn't join this League of Nations. They did not. The government in Russia said, no, we're not joining that. But the rest of that country, France and Holland and all the countries, joined the League of Nations. And you're supposed to live under those rules to kill American prisoners. Instead, Dawes said he thought often of his parents and how they must be feeling. So I got captured November 29, 1944. It was February before my folks got a telegram from the Red Cross that your son is a prisoner of war. Dawes endured 5 months as a POW and was liberated April 29, 1945. During his time in Germany, Dawes said he never thought of death or what might happen to him, mostly because the Germans made it clear they were not going to kill their American prisoners. Dawes said he thought often of his parents and how they must feel it must have been terrible on them. I was homesick, but mostly I was just thinking of my parents. They had me thinking every day, where are you, Charles? I wonder if you are okay, Dawes said. His parents were not told he was a POW until February. I got captured in, November.
November 29th.
And then in February they found out that I was a prisoner of war. Dawes credits the Army for its thoughtfulness. The depot agent took a telegram to my mother. My mother was teaching a rural school in Dimmock, but out in the country. I'm just using that as an illustration. She was teaching a rural school, and his parents were not told he was a POW until February. Dawes credits him for his son. The depot agent took a telegram to my mother at the school where she was teaching. Okay. In those days we had a depot down along the river bluff in Springfield, South Dakota. So the train that left Mitchell or Brookings or wherever the train went as far as Springfield, as the running water along the river, and that was the end, because the river was there then. That was the end of the railroad track. So the depot agent down it, and then this building along the river then would have a depot agent. He'd go down there, they be open, the depot would be open, and then we have a method of selling telegrams, sending messages. They call it da da dit da 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 dit da da.
What, telegram?
Yeah.
Telegram.
And so he had to go deliver that message to my mother. Then she was teaching that school, so. And the depot agent took the telegram to my mother at the school she was teaching. Your son is missing in action, Dawes said. 6 weeks later, she got another telegram saying, your son is a POW. It makes me sick to think about that. That the parents all day and all night, and how could they sleep? When the 103rd Infantry, 7th Army was liberated, it took a little more than a month to return to the U.S. Okay, when they declared, one of you asked a question about how the war was over, then the Germans surrendered, and at night then, you could hear the artillery fire. The Americans were using artillery fire, and the sky would light up because of the torpedoes and so on. And we thought, oh my, the Americans are coming, they're getting close. And every night it got a little more clear, a little more light, that we knew we were going to be liberated. When the 103rd Infantry was liberated, it took a little more than a month to return to the U.S. Here you are, us four guys. Neither one of us know our background. There was probably 100, maybe 1,000 guys. You had to get a history on each one of us, so that so that the Army, so that the military would know whatever happened to you and you and you and you. They had to keep record. So we took 6 months, took more than a month to return to the U.S. because of getting oriented. So if I think we came on a boat, we came on a ship. Yeah. So if the ship would get sunk, so who was on the ship? Were you on the ship? Were you on that ship? So they had to get oriented, and we were given when we returned to South Dakota, we were allowed a 60-day furlough, and we returned to Arkansas for a briefing and discharge in November of 1945. You want to hear that again? When the 103rd Infantry Army was liberated, it took a little more than a month to get us oriented as to who we are. So it allowed a 60-day, and we got home, we had a 60-day furlough